Hi, I'm Nancy. Welcome to Mindful Yoga. Today our theme is balance. Balance in motion between dualities, a greater whole. Join me for some breathing to begin, finding a place that can be comfortable, where you are feeling in balance, maybe between your knees and your hips, or between your feet and your hips if you're in the chair, or however you are sitting. Feeling left, right, front, back, and a center, even if that center is somewhat always in motion. Coming into the breath, arriving on the mat, letting the busyness of the morning or the day go. Bringing your attention into the belly. Letting the breath rise and fall. Extending up a bit through the spine, through the back of the neck. Relaxing down, releasing through jaw and belly, and down through the legs. We're going to start with alternate nostril breathing today, bringing attention to the two sides of our body. Bringing up the peace fingers, bring them down, and then the thumb and the fourth finger, the ring finger and the thumb come up. The thumb goes to the right nostril, ring finger will go to the left nostril. Close the right nostril with the thumb. And we'll inhale from the abdomen all the way up to the nostril on the left. Pause for a moment. Close left with ring finger and exhale down the right. Inhaling upright. Closing and exhaling down left. A calming breath. Without right, no left. Without left, no right. Opposites intertwined. Two aspects of one whole. You can continue with your fingers or just mentally as I read from the Tao Te Jing. If you want to shrink something, you must first allow it to expand. If you want to get rid of something, you must first allow it to flourish. If you want to take something, you must first allow it to be given. This is called the subtle perception of the way things are. The soft overcomes the hard. The slow overcomes the fast. Let your workings remain a mystery. Just show people the results. Something comforting in this reading. Opposites, two phases of one reality. And bringing your fingers over to one side, and other arm lifts up, balancing over on one sitting bone and the fingers on that side of the hand as you come into a side bend, and balancing on fingers and sitting bone on the other side. Being aware of passing through a moving center. Not rejecting one side and embracing another. Feeling the interdependence. Then coming back through center, bring arms up overhead. Let the sitting bones reach down, reach up through the crown, up through the fingers, and then bring both hands down, one over the thigh and the other one to the side of the hip. And then up overhead, fingers pointing or touching down to the mat on each side. Feeling that spine and the long center of our body spiraling from side to side. Then coming back through center. Let's come forward with our hands. Feel the pelvis, the pelvic bowl moving, the top moving forward and the bottom moving back. Then sliding the fingers back, bringing the hands back behind you, and feel the pelvis moving in the opposite direction with the bottom of the pelvis coming up somewhat and the top of the pelvis back. So as you move, sliding forward with the hands, then bringing the hands back behind. Keep the attention on the movement of the pelvis. Moving like a bowl. Noting the movement and the stillness in the center. One last time with hands behind. Find what feels like the center as you sit up. Spine with its natural curves reaching upwards. And then think about your ribs over your hips, another kind of balance in the body. And very small movement as the ribs move from side to side over the hips. No straining here, just a little bit side to side. Then adding front and back to that movement, coming forward, side, back, side, forward. Just a little circle of the ribs around the center. Maybe thinking of the center down through the pelvic floor, that root going down into the earth, and your ribs circling around above in the opposite direction. Just finding the width, the diameter of your circle. Then bringing the ribs back through what feels like center. Let's think about the head a moment and its balance on the shoulders. It balances there, a rather heavy thing of the skull, brain resting on the top of the spine. Come forward and back. Again, just centimeters, just a few centimeters forward and back, just to get the sense of that. And then a little centimeter over to one side and then to the other, as if you were eavesdropping on someone, lending your ear towards their conversation. And then maybe a little circle, but very small, as you feel that head turning around the pivot point of the spine. And coming back and finding the center, releasing down through shoulders and down through hips and legs. Coming back to that head and feeling the kind of bobulacious quality of the head, kind of like a Cupid doll, as it's balanced on the shoulders. Bring the right ear over to the right shoulder, little turn up with the nose and the chin. Right arm comes out and back behind across and is going to grab the bicep on the other side. This is a little different than what we usually do. So right ear to right shoulder, right arm comes across, grabs the arm, the left arm. And so we're opening here again, aligning from the ear down through the collarbone and in the neck, and then also the pectoralis minor, the chest muscle. Coming back through center, bringing the left ear to the left shoulder, little turn up with nose and chin. Left arm comes out, comes back behind, takes hold of, however it can, that arm on the other side. A little pull down through the hand and the arm, and a little lift from the hip up through the shoulder. Gives a nice opening. Release and feel the body just naturally coming back to that balance in motion of head and ribs and hips. Then we're going to sweep the chin up to one side, let the eyes rise up towards the ceiling, come down, sweep over the earth floor, and then up to the junctional wall and ceiling on the other side. We might get a sense here of balance. Balance is complicated. It's a combination of the visual system, the eyes, and of the inner ears, the vestibular nerve, the vestibular system, and of it's all of this, those two, the visual and the vestibular, relating to the muscles and joints in the body, and kind of knowing where those are, the proprioception, we call it, our knowledge of where things are in our own bodies, and come back through center. If at any point you feel any dizziness in all of this work with balance, just back off, bring a sweet kindness to yourself, and don't push it. Let's come into a turtle back. Hands are on the knees, and let the back round as you push back through the back, and then coming up into a broad cactus, broad from heart out through the elbows and back to turtle. Open to what I think of as cormorant, drying her wings on the log, and turtle. Opening and closing. Each movement contains its opposite. Not one without the other. And it makes a whole. Just as in some sense, history makes a whole, which I think is what the reading is getting at, the cycles of history, which are kind of comforting at this point in time. Bring the hands down, bring the legs wide. We're going to run the right hand out the right leg, bring the other hand up and over, let the knee be a little soft. Coming over, feel yourself on that sits bones, and then coming over, left hand going down left leg, feel yourself coming over to the left sitting bone. So the balance going back and forth. Feel the balance really between the heel and the sitting bone, right? And then each shape that we give to the body challenges the balance a little bit and makes it stronger. Then coming up through center, bring the legs together. And we'll do forward fold here. Let the hands this time just be on the thighs, running down the legs. The chest and eyes are coming towards the toes. Knees are soft. Let that be kind of an escape valve, coming up and back. As the chest comes towards the toes, see if you can feel that through your sacrum area, your lumbar spine, down into the sacrum and your tailbone area. And that gives a nice stretch there in that, what is probably the most central part of our bodies. This time when you come over, let yourself come down into your version of forward fold with some C shape in the spine. Just coming into yourself. And then as you rise, Let the chest again come towards the toes, become long in the spine, and come back up. Feet come wide. We're coming into windshield wipers. Hands are back behind. Before you start, notice how the heels of the hands and the fingers, to some extent, are important in the balance here, the sitting bones and the feet. And that allows the knees and the hips eventually to be free to move. A rolling balance, bringing the hand into it, coming back as fingers point back towards the opposite corner. Nice rolling balance here. Then coming back through center, we're going to come into an up boat. So your sitting bones are still on the mat. Hands are behind the thighs, just above the knees. Toes might come to the mat as you lean back and open up through the collarbone. Strong through the abdominal muscles and through the quad muscles in the front of the thigh. Lots of variations here. Toes might lift. Both shins and toes might lift. Feet, hands might stay behind the thighs, or they might come out to the sides. Each shape giving a little bit more challenge to the body. And notice where you're balancing, just right behind the sits bones. And then bring it down. We're going to roll back. Legs go up in the air. And you might just stay like this with legs up, feet relaxed, getting the benefit of the inversion, feeding down into hormones and lymph, blood, all coming down to the center of the body. Option come up into half shoulder stand. I'm rolling back and forth so that I can get my elbows in around into my waist, the sides of my waist. Then pushing up with the hips and letting the hands catch the buttocks. Squeeze the shoulder blades together slightly, wiggling around, becoming wider through the collarbones. And here we have another balance, right? Mainly the shoulders and the upper arms, elbows. The head is not really taking much weight here. And then bringing the knees down to towards the forehead. You can come over farther if that serves you. Hands come down, palms towards on the mat. And hips come down. Then as those legs come down, you might push yourself up with your elbows and come back up into up boat. Balancing right behind the sits bones. If you want a little more challenge here, hands can go to one side as knees go a little bit to the other side, back and forth. Hands behind the knees, curl in the knees a bit, and come into shoulder stand or just the dead bug with the legs straight up in the air. Terrible name, right? Dead bug, but okay. Half shoulder stand. Make sure that you get good balance there on your shoulders, and it helps to be, they get those shoulder blades in a little bit and be broad through the collarbone in order to have the balance coming on each, really it's maybe more on the shoulder blades than what we would call, but the shoulder blades are part of the shoulder. And you might let legs come apart and together and cross. And then bringing the feet together, let knees come down towards the forehead, palms come to the mat, and slowly let the hips come down, and the legs come down. Bring yourself up with that motion. Crisscross the legs. Then we're going to come forward over the knees, rolling over the knees. Hands come in front, and then the crown of the head comes down. So we're in a very stable balance, actually, on all four points, palms and knees, and then you have the crown in the middle. Uncross the ankles, tuck the toes, come back onto the toes, hands slide back. Then pushing through fingers or hands, pushing up through the hips, bring the hands to the shins, press into the shins long from the bottom of the spine up through the crown. Belly comes to thigh. Open through the arms, chest and eyes forward as you come up. Coming into a standing position. Take a little drink here. Feet are just a little wider than hip width apart. Hands down in front of the abdomen. Feel a little bit of repelling action between the hands as they come apart, and the action as you bring them in, kind of resisting a little bit. So there's repelling and you're resisting, there's attraction and you're resisting just a little bit. So there's an energy here, a little bit of tension in the intention as you come together and apart, as if there are magnets in your hands, repelling and attracting. And then letting yourself breathe. As the hands come apart, coming back on the heels and inhaling, and then as the hands come towards each other, coming forward onto the toes and exhaling. Inhaling open. Exhaling closed. If you want, Ursula LeGuin, what seeks to shrink must first have grown. What seeks weakness surely was strong. What seeks its ruin must first have risen. What seeks to take has surely given. This is called the small, dark light. The soft, the weak prevail over the hard, the strong. Fish should stay underwater. The real means of rule should be kept dark. Maybe feeling that small, dark light within the belly area. And bringing the hands together and down. Feet are a little wider than hip width apart. And we're not really going to do our tapping, but we're going to begin as if we were, pouring our weight into one foot, pausing there for a moment, feeling the balance as the weight comes down on that foot and you feel the center of that foot. Then pouring the weight into the other foot and feeling the balance on that foot. And remember, all of this, even if it's very easy for you to do all of this, it is building the strength that goes in to balance through ankle, foot, up through the leg, the hip, the core, and up through the ribs and shoulder blades as well. So just back and forth here. Notice the weight in one leg, and then take a moment to notice that empty leg. Freedom, no responsibility to hold you up. And that whole side of the body is free. You actually here become a yin-yang symbol of soft and hard, of weak and strong, always working together, constant motion. Now as we come over into the foot, turn the knee in and pause there for a moment, increasing the weight on that one leg. And then you might lift up a little bit more, testing the balance a little bit more. You can always have a chair near you if you would wish, or the side of a couch. Just back and forth. And if you want to keep the toe down the whole time, that's fine. Next option is to come across and then open up to the side. Bring the weight over, knee turns in, open and down. Feel the weight and then come across and down. Feel the weight in, across and down. One more time on each side. Now coming into mountain pose. Quite intentionally planting our feet right under the hips. Feeling the weight coming straight down onto the heels and then out to the sides a bit on each side and across, diagonally across the foot to the mounds of the first, second, and third toes. Wiggle the toes a minute. The main job of the toes, particularly the fourth and fifth, are just for a little bit of extra balance. The weight is really on those mounds and the heel. Letting the arch be bright and engaged, feeling that energy coming up through the inseams of the legs, a little turn in around the pelvic floor with the inner thighs. Then the glutes engage, sits bones come together and engage. Going up the body, a little tuck in the lower ribs, and letting the lower shoulder blades come down, tucking down towards the waist in the back. So we have two areas of real strength here, one in the hips and one in the lower torso. And those can be really, really important. So we're engaged, we lift up through the spine, long through the back of the neck, and then allow things to settle down with gravity. The jaw releases, the shoulders are soft, the belly is soft. There's some relaxation through the legs and down through the feet. So those three motions of engaging, lifting, and letting things settle down and releasing. Trusting in the gravity, trusting in the pretensile strength of the connective tissues and the bones and the muscles to keep you standing. We're going to come to our eyes now, such an important part of the system of balance. Let the eyes come over to the left corner, then let the eyes come over to the right corner. Left corner and right corner. One more time. Then let the eyes go up and down. Two more times, up and down, and up and down. Now let eyes go to the upper right, coming across to the lower left. Upper right to lower left. And one more time. Then eyes go to the upper left and lower right. Upper left and lower right. One last time. Bring eyes once again to the center, then over to the left corner, arch up and over to the right corner. Right corner, arch up and over to the left corner. Continue that. Then we'll bring our eyes over to the right corner and arch over to the left corner, up and over. One last time. Now let your eyes stay over there on the left corner, and we'll do the downward arch. So from left corner to right corner, going down and over to the other side and back. And 2 more cycles. All training for the balance system. And then we'll go, let's see, we've done the top, and come back through center. All right, I think we are done with the eyes. Let's come up on tiptoes, the hands cupping upwards and out, coming up just gently on the tiptoes, looking to one side and then the other, and coming down. Cupping up, just raising the heels. It might just be a slight raise, broad through the chest and arms, looking to one side, looking to the other, and coming down. Lifting up, wide, side to side, and down. Lifting up, wide, side to side, and down. We're going to walk a little bit here. We'll start with what's called the Tai Chi walk, bringing one foot forward and placing it all down very gingerly, as if you were testing the ice. Is it going to hold me or not? Then coming forward with the next foot, the other foot, and testing the ice with that one, gingerly, slowly bringing the weight on as you find the ice is going to hold you. So just a small bit of walking around your space. Good walking commits to one leg, all the weight comes down there, and then there's the step, that important step that is coming. You're stable on this leg, and then you're choosing the next step. Walking is a complicated movement. It's a balance. It's not just one leg swinging forward, it's also a bit of a twist in the body. So we are constantly balancing throughout our lives, even if we're not conscious of it. Now come to the end of your mat, one end or the other. We're just going to walk slowly up and down our mats. As we do so, one foot in front of the other, not just right in front, just a regular walk, turning the head from side to side. Just gently, side to side. And of course, eyes are turning with it. So what we're doing is giving a little challenge to our visual system, our vestibular system, and our sense of proprioception, our sense of muscles and joints all moving together. It's just a gradual training that can strengthen the sense of balance. And this time, as we go up and back the mat, look up and down, and up and down. And again, be kind to yourself. If this doesn't work for you, let it be just enough. Walking up and down the mat. And coming back. Once again, coming into mountain pose. Feeling that engagement up through the body, the hip engagement, the feet receiving the weight, and then this engagement through the lower ribs and the lower shoulder blades. The lifting up and the releasing, settling down. Then bringing the weight over into the right foot. Let the left knee rise and let the left hand rise with it, up and down, as if the left hand were bouncing a ball, as if your knee were a ball that you're bouncing up and down. Again, Feel free to have a chair there if you would like. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then we'll come to the other side. Engaging, lifting, settling, and lifting that knee, bouncing the ball, the knee ball, up and down. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And bring it down. Now we're going to do a stork, shifting the weight into, let's do the right foot, engaging, lifting, settling, letting the knee rise. Maybe you stay on your toe, which is fine. Maybe you raise the knee, and arms slowly moving through the air. Enjoying the sweet sun of the day, or perhaps the dew of the clouds. Feeling gravity, letting the weight come into gravity, and also feeling the levity, the lightness of the knee and the arms as they float up and down. Then planting the left foot, engaging, lifting, settling, and coming into your stork balance and movement. Perhaps aware of some conversation between the bottom of the foot and the ankle and the floor, up through the body. A balance is never completely still. And at the same time, your eyes and ears are talking to each other. Everything working together. One more time. And bring it down. Now coming back to the right foot, option to just bring the toe over on the other side of that foot with a bent knee and let that be your balance point between the foot and that toe, or coming into Shiva legs with a little bend in the foundation leg and the ankle comes up above the knee on that thigh. And then just taking some kind of mudra, perhaps the forefinger and thumb come together. My grandchildren always seem to take this pose. If they're meditating, they quick do this pose. The individual and the universal coming together, symbolized by the thumb and the forefinger. And relaxing down from that, coming with your foundation leg on the left, getting a drishti, getting a focus point that is unmoving out in front of you, where your eyes can stay. So you're stabilizing your eyes, you're coming over with your toe, or perhaps you're bringing the ankle up to the thigh and coming into a Shiva pose. Often we move the arms with this, but today we're just letting them be still. Feel the engagement, feel a little bit of lift, feel the settling down through the foot, building the muscles necessary to balance. And let that go. Bring the weight into the right leg. Engage, lift, settle. And then we're going to lift in the other leg, kicking up to the side, just gently. Bringing that toe or foot lightly back onto the mat or not. for 3, 2, and 1. Bring the weight into the other foot, engage, lift, settle, and lift the other one. Aware of lifting at the same time as engaging and feeling the rootedness of that foot, leg, well, really of the whole body, coming down into the earth, stable in the earth, stable in your focus point with your eyes. 3, 2, and 1, and bring it down. Let the feet come wide and let's skate back and forth a little bit. Just loosen up. Then keeping those feet wide, a little bit of pigeon toe-ness in your feet. Hands come down and walk forward. A wide-legged downward dog, reaching back through the arms, hips come back and up slightly. Nice stretch here. Then walking back with the hands, walking over to one foot, opposite hand on ankle, and reach up with the arm. Sweep across to the other side, open. Feeling the beautiful duality of the body, and also coming back to center, feeling that center as hands come to the hip creases and you bring yourself up. And you might toe heel your feet back so that they come under the hips. And we're going to come into tree pose. Again, welcome to use chair or side of couch, whatever you have. And you might, as you use a chair, you might just bring a light finger on it and then lift it up and bring it back. So you're testing your balance and giving it the chance to develop. Let's bring our weight into the left foot. Engage, lift, and settle. Then turning the knee out on the right, the heel might come just above the ankle. Hands namaste to the heart. Option to bring the foot up on the side of the calf. And if you're doing this, make sure you get some strong muscles on the side of the hips and a lift in the body. Option to bring the foot up to thigh. And here, right away, the thigh and the hip are hugging in to that foot. So in a way, it gives your leg and hip some extra strength because of the leverage between those two. And let it come down. And we'll try the other side. Again, engaging up, feeling those lower ribs and bottom of the shoulder blades, tucking in, strong in the side of the hip. Hands are namaste again. Heel to above the ankle as the knee turns out slightly. Option to come up onto the calf. And again, notice how the glute has to engage a little bit more and the side of the hip has to engage a little bit more when you do it in this manner. And then bringing the foot up to thigh. The thigh pushes back, the hip engages, the glute engages. And bring it down. We're going to do those all again, this time with the option to have hands overhead. So bring the weight into the left foot, engaging, lifting, and settling. Turning out the knee, heel goes above the ankle, and arms come up overhead. Do you have a drishti point, a focus for the eyes? Do you feel the sensations of the muscles and joints? Option now to bring the foot up by the calf. Feel the glute engage and the side of the hip. Option to bring the foot up against thigh, thigh against foot. Lifting up and rooting down. Fully engaged. And slowly coming down, saying goodbye to your tree for a moment until you create another one with the other foot. Feeling the weight in the foot, the engagement up through the hip area, up through the lower torso area, the lift through the spine and the back of the neck, and the settling down, the releasing. And then bringing the heel to the above the ankle as the knee turns out, arms come up overhead. Just enough if this is where you stay. Option to bring the foot up on the side of the calf. Feeling the glute and the side of the hip. Answer that movement with some engagement. Option to bring foot up to thigh, thigh to foot. Feel the sensations of the engagement in the body, lifting up through the spine and the back of the crown. Maybe feeling some conversation down there between the foot and the ankle and the floor. And bring it down. Balance always has to be a good time for levity. So anytime you fall, laugh. Best thing to do with it. Let's see. We are going to, well, obviously my body wants to kick back and forth. So let's kick back and forth. We need a little loosening up here. Letting the arms swing freely. Nice to just let the body take over sometimes. Then let the feet be wide, and let's take a nice wide side bend back and forth. And gradually coming back through center, we're going to toggle and come up into what we often call a warrior one. So we're headed into some kind of diagonality of the body to the earth and perhaps a parallel to the earth. But we start with a simple toggle. So bringing the weight into the right foot, feeling that weight coming down, heel across to the mounds of the first toe, up the leg, little turn in the inner thigh, strong through the hips, glutes engaged, ribs, lower shoulder blades engaged. Arms along the side as the left leg comes up behind. And there's engagement through that left leg. There's engagement up through the core and up into the chest. Becoming diagonal, you might just keep toggling or you might become diagonal. Keep the arms strong and long beside the body. Foot might come up and crown go forward so that you're in a kind of parallel position to the earth. Arms might come out wide and then come back. A little twinge in the ankle there. So we all have things and issues that are brought forth by our various movements here. And coming to the other side, the left foot, same sense of the weight coming down and across to the mounds, up through the leg, strong through the hip area, both in the front and the glutes, coming up through the body, strong between the ribs and the shoulder blades, settling down through the foot, So real strong through that side of the body that is going to support the toggle in the other side. Keep toggling, perhaps come into a diagonal. Arms are along the side, that's part of your strength, along supporting the body, which might become parallel. Reach forward through crown and back through foot. Arms might come out in an airplane. And a little bend in the knee and bring it down. Good work, everybody. This has been a lot. We're going to come down onto the mat now for just a moment, coming into a prone position, and then we'll come into a lying on our backs. But first, coming to a prone position for just a moment, coming into a Sphinx pose. I'm feeling that sense of the shoulder blades coming down towards the waist, the opening that creates from the lower ribs up through the chest. I hope this is as enjoyable a shape of the body to you as it is to me at the moment. And we're going to balance on our pubic bone or our pelvic bowl as arms come out or front, either way, or they can be anywhere around that bit of the circle, finding a place where hands can be forward or a little to the sides, legs can lift, head and shoulders obviously are lifted as well, and we're balanced on the pubic bone, but also on the pelvic bowl, up to the bottom of the ribs. Feeling that ability of the body to balance right on the very core of itself. And bring it down. Let the cheek come to the back of the hand and rest down. A rest well earned as we allow ourselves to settle completely into the earth. And then rolling over, we'll come onto our backs. If you feel really good prone, you can stay there. So this is free for all from here on. If you're on your back, feeling the shoulder blades, the hips, the calves and the heels, the arms and the skull, sinking down into the earth. The softness in the belly. Arms can come to a T, bend the knees above the hips, and let knees go to about 45 degrees, center, and over to the other side. Enjoying one more balance in motion across the sacrum. Feeling the weight of the body, the stretch of the body. The eyes adjusting to this movement. I don't think we really feel our inner ears, although we know when they're not working well. But rest assured that that little vestibular nerve, kind of a spiral in there, is also adjusting with every move you're making. Let the feet come up in the air. Legs come wide. Heel toe pointing and flexing the legs, the ankles. Allow yourself to feel the bigness of your body. And then coming into happy baby. That profound relaxation of the back of the waist and sacrum into the earth. Relaxing in the back of the neck and up the spine, shoulders. Perhaps rocking back and forth. And bringing happy baby down, taking the happiness with you. Extend the right leg out, arms are along the side. The left foot comes up beside the thigh. Then bring the arms out to a T. Move the hips over to the left slightly. Left foot comes up on right thigh, drawing that left knee across, finding a place of ease in your twist. Relaxing through the sides of the hips, the belly, the backs of the thighs, the backs of the knees, the calves, and the bottom of the feet. Relaxing through the mounds of the toes. And then rolling back through the center midline of the body. Left leg comes out, right foot comes up. Move hips over to the right foot over on left thigh. Finding a place of ease on this side. Just appreciating the duality of the body, the interdependence, the intimacy of the two legs, the two feet, the two hands, the two arms, the two lungs, the two hemispheres of the brain. At the same time, appreciating the spine, the midline. Feeling relaxation coming up through the spine to the back of the neck, around the skull to the eyes. Both of them allowing little muscles around the eyes, the capillaries to relax and soften. The upper cheeks, lower cheeks, rosy. Lips soft, tongue, jaw, down through breastbone and into the belly. And rolling back. You might take a long stretch, stretching one side, pulling up the wrist and pushing down through the heel, and then the other side. Invitation to stay here and relax if you would like. Maybe move around a little bit more, just the way you would like to. Or coming into a fetal position and coming up. The soft overcomes the hard, the slow overcomes the fast. Let your workings remain a mystery. Just show people the results. This is called the small, dark light. Namaste. Thanks for practicing. You're all giving yourselves a gift.
Will this be recorded?